I'm Eve Yohalem, and I'm a co-host and co-founder of the Book Dreams podcast, along with Julie Sternberg. Julie and I intended to launch Book Dreams last week with polished professional episodes where we interview experts about our most urgent book-related questions. Our plans got derailed, as so many plans for so many people have been derailed. It didn't seem right or feasible to launch last week. So instead, we've been checking in with each other every day about the books we're reading and how we feel about reading while living in isolation with our families. We thought other people might be interested in hearing these check-ins, and so we decided to post these rough, not very polished daily musings about life and books. And we'll also post the more polished episodes as we finish them. And we hope hearing about our experiences will inspire you to reach out to us and share your experiences. So here we go. Mini episode number 1.
Hello, and welcome to Book Dreams, sort of, a kind of book dreams. This is not exactly the time of our dreams, but I'm Julie Sternberg, a children's book author.
And I'm Eve Yohalem. Well, Julie and I are not in the same room right now. We're not in the same house. We're not in the same state, and we're not used to that.
No, we're not. And I'm actually in a car. My family and I are holed up together, as I think all families are right now, and there's not a lot of space and not a lot of quiet. So I'm calling Eve to record this from the car. So we had intended to launch our fabulous podcast this week, producing episodes with all sorts of interviews on fascinating topics and
all related to books.
All related to books and everything you might wonder about them. And unfortunately, as is true of so much else, it got a little derailed, our launch dreams. So yes.
Today is March 20th, by the way. We were intending to launch on March 17th, and we questioned whether we should be doing this at all. And then we thought, well, maybe we should talk about where we are now with books and reading and, see where it leads us.
So we thought we'd start with how our days have gone so far.
Yeah. And I think you should start that, Julie, because my day started at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I've been up since then. It's now 11. So that's really all I need to say about my day so far. So tell me about your day so far.
You did set up and test the recording equipment. So yes. I give you a gold star.
Yes.
I got up and went to the grocery store, which is a feat in and of itself these days. And not only that, but my 2 teenage daughters, one of whom has been sleeping, I'm not kidding, until 3 p.m. every day, set an alarm for 8 a.m. to go with me first thing to the grocery store. That is how exciting a grocery store run.
That's our new normal. Yeah.
So we were super, super vigilant about wiping our hands. Also, the grocery list that I made was divided into groupings by area in the store. So everyone,
for maximum efficiency, and time saving. Mm-hmm.
And not being in the same place was the idea. So everyone had their own geographically segmented group of items to buy. And still, when we got to the checkout guy, he said to me in the nicest possible way that going forward, they were going to have one person per household come to the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just, sad. On top of everyone distancing themselves in the store and having to be so worried about what you touched and having the girls be so excited in the first place to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be then told that was also going to be taken away for us for completely understandable reasons.
Yeah.
I felt embarrassed, that we had not even thought of that in advance and followed that on our own. Of course, that makes perfect sense.
It amazes me how simultaneously strange all of this feels, as well as normal. Oh yeah, of course. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and what you're saying sounds very familiar. And to have the strangeness and the familiarity at the same time is, it's a little mentally dizzying.
And I don't yet understand what to do about the boxes and things. Am I supposed to be wiping down the bags of cookies?
I think theoretically yes, but that feels.
But it's just
like too much for us.
That was my plan, but I just decided instead to try to wait many hours before we opened things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hopefully any contagion.
It does feel like we're finding our way a little bit blind through all of this,
Yeah.
So that is a great segue to the book I've been reading, believe it or not.
Oh, tell me.
And the book I've been reading is called, it's nonfiction, it's called It Were As Well to Please the Devil as Anger Him, Witchcraft in the Founding Days of East Hampton by Loretta Orion, PhD. And the reason that's a great segue, so this book is about a famous, although unbeknownst to me, witch trial in East Hampton from 1657. And I'm only about halfway through, but it paints a really clear picture of domestic life in pre-colonial America. And the reason I think this is such a good segue is one of the things that's become really clear to me now that we're all housebound is that I think everyone, and by everyone, I mean everyone, is getting a really deep appreciation for domestic work.
Yeah.
The grocery store is really important. We're all cleaning with bleach every last thing, and the laundry and food. I don't know where the day goes. I do know where the day goes. It's all about food preparation.
Right.
And, I think there are many people who don't typically do those things who are doing them now. And the way it ties into this book is this idea of the domestic sphere. The domestic sphere is usually this private, female-only place, but not now. Not for us.
Right.
Now everyone is in the domestic sphere. Even if you're working from home, you're working from home. And that's been interesting to me.
I'm going to humiliate myself to confess that you seem to be drawn right now to a very intellectual, academic, thoughtful route in your reading. I'm searching my shelves basically for the least intellectual and also sort of most diverting and darkest, murder mystery, stuff I bought because I like those books, but then just for whatever reason never got to. So I just finished Elizabeth George's Careless in Red, which I picked up because it's do you know the Harper Perennial Olive editions? Have you ever noticed these?
No.
Every year they pick, 12 books on a theme. And I think this year's theme was murder and mayhem or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they do a limited run of books with these great covers in a very particular style. And the Careless in Red cover is just this fabulous, it's just these hands trying to climb up a cliff and falling.
Oh, wow. I have to look that up.
It's great. So I read that while simultaneously listening to a book that I had ordered from Audible and then decided it was too bleak and I just couldn't listen to it.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. I need it to add, to supplement to my other dark books. It's called Two Girls Down by Louisa Luna. It's about these two girls who disappear and are presumably kidnapped. And I just want to go on long walks by myself and sink into this horrible story. I can't explain it. Wow. And yet when I was looking at my shelf for more books, when I saw Hunger Games, like the apocalyptic, those I can't read.
Yeah. So you're having you need to be dark, but specific dark. And by the way, just so you know, I am not in an intellectual mode. This book that I'm reading is 82 pages, double spaced. And I've only managed to get halfway through in 3 days. And the next book I want to read is the Willa Cather book that you've been recommending to me. It's just, the 17th century is my jam, as you know, but it's anomalous. I think I'm going to be reading very different stuff if I ever get through the last 40 pages of this one.
So just so everyone knows, if anyone ever listens to this, the Willa Cather book that I love so much is Song of the Lark. I want to say also, as an audio production matter, that we're going to try our hardest not to worry about much having to do with the quality of this recording. We're going to do our best to just put it up so that we can get these out in a regular way without feeling burdened by them.
And our other episodes, we've worked very hard to edit and smooth out and be very professional about it. This is the opposite. And in fact, Julie has a timer on her phone. We're not going to go more than 10 minutes, and we're just stopping when the timer goes off.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll have said something that somebody finds distracting.
Oh,
You know?
I didn't start the timer. I think we might have done our.
I think we probably
We
yeah.
haven't. I forgot to press start. But there you go. That's okay. We're going to celebrate mistakes here. We're celebrating that mistake.
Celebrating mistakes, imperfection, doing our best, getting through the day.
Yes.
And we hope that everyone listening is feeling safe and healthy, and that your families are as well.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We'll try this again tomorrow.
Yes, and we hope you can find some good, pleasing books to whatever mindset you have right now that you can sink into.
Yes. Take care.
Bye.
Come listen to Book Dreams with Julie